Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Bear River Blogger, and today you're listening to another Bear River Blogger podcast. It is January 15th, and we are back out on the Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge auto tour route to see what's changed over the weekend. We had a snowstorm that came through this weekend, and it put down about 5 to 6 inches of snow on the refuge, and the temperatures dropped like a rock after the storm left. In fact, this morning when I got up and came to the refuge, it was only 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and there was a pretty stiff north wind blowing, and the wind's still kind of blowing, but not quite as bad as it was earlier today. But I don't think the temperature has gotten over 25 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so it is still well below freezing, and it is very cold out here. And some things have changed. In fact, all the open water that I've been seeing on the southwest and west side of the Auto route, all that's frozen, which means the swans and the great blue herons that were hanging out there, they're not there anymore. But on the southeast corner of the auto tour route, there is some pockets of open water, and it's attracted quite a few tundra swans, and there's actually a small group of trumpeter swans kind of mixed in with them. I've been sitting here for about I don't know, a couple hours maybe, watching these swans, and every so often I've been watching small flocks of swans coming from all over and landing with these groups. So this group of swans, which started out to be, I think, about a couple hundred swans, in the last couple hours, it has doubled. I'm guessing there's probably 350, 400 swans here now. I just had another 50 of them land just a few seconds ago before I started this podcast. So there's quite a few tundra swans out here, and they are actually in pretty good viewing location from the auditor route. There's a pocket of water about 150 yards from the road, and that's what attracted all these swans. So they're in very good viewing position and photography location from the auto route, which is kind of unique because normally we don't get a lot of swans, if any, this time of year, because usually they're in Northern California by now. But the winters that we do get swans that kind of stay throughout the winter, from what my experience have seen, they usually stay over in the closed area, so you don't really get to see them that much. But this year, they've been sitting out on the auto route, which has been kind of nice. And today, they're in a really good spot for viewing. I'm just sitting here in my car, even without spotting scope or binoculars, and they're just 150 yards away from me, just as plain as day. So it's nice that they're this close to watch without any magnification. It's been kind of slow out here for other birds. I haven't seen very much of anything else. I've only seen one bald eagle. I haven't seen any great blue herons, which is actually the reason I came out. I was hoping to find great blue herons out on these small pockets of open water, but I haven't seen any yet. I haven't seen any rough-legged hawks. In fact, I've only seen one all winter long, and that was several weeks ago. And normally when it gets this cold is when I usually start seeing them a lot more, but I haven't seen a single one today. So really the main story of the day is the swans, the tundra swans, and the small group of trumpeter swans that are mixed in with these tundra swans. So um, there are quite a few swans out here to see, being the second week in January. So um, there is some good bird watching out here when it comes to swans. Now, hopefully, when things settle down and the great blue herons start searching around the refuge for open pockets of water, now that things have frozen up a bit more, hopefully, like they do every year, they come to the south side of the auto route to these open pockets of water that typically stay open. I think because there's a little bit of current, because this is where the water leaves the auto route, goes underneath the road and out to the Great Salt Lake. I think that current keeps the water open just enough so it leaves these little tiny pockets of open water, and that usually attracts a lot of great blue herons. In years past, I've seen dozens of great blue herons sitting on the ice around these open pockets of water. So hopefully that happens again. So maybe when things settle down and the birds move around a bit, they'll find this open pocket of water, and hopefully they'll attract some great blue herons. I can actually see a lot more swans further to the north flying. So there's a lot of swans out here still, which is really surprising to me, but it's a pleasant surprise because I love coming out in the wintertime and looking at the swans and the other birds that stick around. It's just so interesting to see them out here. So I love it when it gets this cold. It may sound strange to say, but the colder it is out here, the better the bird watching, especially when you find these open pockets of water, because like it is now, it's attracting a lot of tundra swans, a lot of swans that are so close to the road that are just in great viewing position. So, and it just keeps the swans just keep coming in. There's another dozen that are flying by. I don't know where they're headed, but every time I look up, I'm seeing swans flying by. So there are a lot of tundra swans out on the refuge right now. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's going on out here. Things have changed. Most of the water is frozen, except on this southeast corner of the Migratory route. And right now, that's where all the action is. The refuge is pretty slow coming down until I got to this southeast corner. There is some snow out here. There's about 5, maybe 6 inches of snow on the Migratory road itself. But there's been so many cars out here today, just dozens and dozens of cars coming out looking at the swans, that all the vehicles have packed down all the snow on the Migratory route. So all the snow is flattened, but it is icy. Now, I'll take some pictures of both the swans and the Migratory route and post them on the community tab here on my YouTube channel. So for those of you who are listening to my podcast on Spotify or YouTube Music, you can click over on my YouTube channel, my Bear River Blogger YouTube channel, and go to the community tab, and you can kind of get a visual of what's going on, kind of see what's going on with this podcast. Hopefully someday I'll be able to actually do video and upload it to YouTube, but for now that's not an option. So we're going to keep doing these podcasts and throwing some still photos up on the community tab and see how that works. If you guys have any comments about it, any questions or anything, drop your questions down in the comments below on my YouTube channel there, and um, I'll get I'll get with you and answer them as best I can, or you can reach out to me on bearriverblogger.com. And I hope these podcasts and these updates are helpful to you. That's what I'm interested to find out, if these podcasts are beneficial. Like I said, I wish I could do video, but unfortunately for now, it's not an option. Um, but hopefully someday that changes, and that changes down the road, and they will be allowed to do video out here and upload it to YouTube. So let me know what you think of these podcasts, and if you're clicking over and looking at the photos on the community tab, if that helps any. So anyway, I hope these updates are beneficial, and I hope you guys are getting out doing some winter bird watching somewhere. I come out all the time on the Bird Refuge, so when I come out, I'm going to try and do some of these little podcast updates to give you guys an idea of what's going on, for those of you who are interested in coming out and seeing the winter birds out here, especially the tundra swans and the great blue herons, and even the bald eagles, and hopefully the rough-legged hawks, which still have. I don't know why I'm not seeing any, but they're just not here yet. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on bearriverblogger.com, and we will catch you on the next podcast.